Hi y'all, I'm Allison. If you watched yesterday's video, you're going to notice I'm wearing the same thing today. And that is because this was originally all supposed to be one video and I decided to break it down into 5 parts. Today we're going to be looking at the second Christina Lauren book I read and talk about it a little more. By the way, I think I forgot to mention I am going through this video in the order that I read these books. So they're not publication order or anything. It's just, this is how I have experienced this writing duo. Another yellow cover, bright and cheery. And it's my favorite half nightstand. This one, again, so much fun. If you like epistolary, this one is full of text messaging, group chats, and loved it again. We have Millie Morris. She's always been one of the guys. She was a UC Santa Barbara professor, but she's terrible at building personal relationships. She does have 4 guy best friends, and they're all professors. So the professors all have to attend a black tie formal gala for the university that they work in, and they make a pact to join an online dating service because they're all pretty much heavily entrenched in the single world with no perspectives. So they are going to join a dating service to find dates to take to this formal gala. And I really loved all the multimedia aspect of this, all of the texting and the group chats and everything, because Millie, in her infinite wisdom, wait, I want to make sure I'm not spoiling anything. So yeah, in Millie's first profile, she's getting like graphic pictures sent to her. I know what you know what I mean. And it's just not going well. It's going well for the other guys. They're all getting prospective matches that are worth actually going on a date to see if maybe there's something there. And Millie is just getting vulgar pictures and whatnot. So she creates an alternative personality for herself online and becomes Catherine. Under the guise of Catherine, she allows herself to be more vulnerable than she normally is. So her best friend, Reed, is one of the professors of the group. The dating app matched them up, but he doesn't know it's her. So she ends up with a lot on the line. She is going to have to learn how to be more personable and make herself vulnerable, or she runs the risk of losing her best friend forever if she's not true to herself and who she is. This one, it was so fun. I really loved it. Let's see if I have anything worth sharing with y'all. Yeah, I did have a few qualms about this one at the beginning. I wasn't too sure if I was going to enjoy it as much as the Honeymooners because there was a lot of language in it, and I don't enjoy that in my books. If it lends credibility to a character, then that's fine. I don't have an issue with it. It's not that I'm against cussing all the time, but I think there's a time and a place for it, and when it's just used instead of coming up with an alternative word, I find that lazy and I don't enjoy it. Whether it's the common vernacular or not, it's just not my thing. So there was a bit of language, not over the top, but it was kind of waving a red flag for me, going, uh-oh. But I stuck with it because I do love the first book so much. And they also had a very heavy emphasis on sex at the beginning. So again, that's not necessarily something that I enjoy in my books, depending on how it's done. If I'm reading a book that's meant to be, hot and heavy, then yeah, then it's good. But I didn't go into these. I went into these as more of a rom-com movie kind of vibe. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, it does start out with a little bit of language and heavy emphasis on sex, but the book does shift. And I think that's also showing how on the surface, Millie's not comfortable with being vulnerable and putting herself out there, and the language and, talk being a little bit more crude or heavily based in sex can be an indicator of that instead of, the more intimate relationships. So it does serve a purpose on that way, and which I'm okay with. Serves a purpose for the plot. Let's keep going. And also, with the title, My Favorite Half Night Stand, you kind of gotta, I was expecting sex to be relevant in this, because half night stand, that's it. I was just concerned on whether the whole book would be about that or not, and it wasn't. It shifts in tone as you get further into it, and it becomes more about connecting and making yourself vulnerable and taking away that emphasis on it being purely physical. Another aspect of this book, besides the incredible, main character enemies or friends to lovers trope that's in this, the friendship of these five, so Millie with her 4 guy friends, I absolutely love the friendship dynamic. Reading their conversations in the group chats and everything, it was great. It was so much fun. So I highly recommend this one as well. Just know that the tone at the beginning of the book isn't necessarily the tone that is kept throughout the whole thing. It gets a little bit more deeper, but yet it still retains that fun, lighthearted vibe. And yeah, another home run by Christina Lauren. I just love this writing duo. Well, that was it for my favorite half night stand. Tomorrow I will be back with part 3 of this little marathon, and we'll be talking about Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. So I hope to see you then. Bye now.